everyone. Welcome to today's NEDA Connections. Today we are here with Breaking the Chains Foundation, discussing the encouragement of self-efficacy within our choices of health and wellness. Today we have Debra Hopkins, who is the founder and president of Breaking the Chains Foundation, a NEDA Network co-vice chair, and an American Council on Exercise certified health coach. Danielle Kelmar is a Breaking the Chains Foundation clinical board member and is a leading adolescents and young adult psychotherapist in the Bay Area. She has maintained a private practice for over 20 years, seeing patients who are dealing with eating disorders, anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem issues. Please let us know in the comments section if you're here and if you have any questions throughout the presentation. I'm now going to hand the conversation over to Debra and Danielle.
Lauren, thank you, NEDA, for having us here. Hi, Danny.
Hi.
So encouragement around self-efficacy within our own choices of health and wellness. This is a really important topic. And when we think of health and wellness within our own choices of our daily living, it really helps to identify what health and wellness mean to each one of us. And so if we think of it that way, I'd like to present 3 questions. What is health? What does health and wellness mean to you? And what brings you joy and happiness when it comes to your own health and wellness? So those 3 things that we're going to interchange and talk about today. And it's really important to mention that this discussion is not going to be centered around the narrow metric that health and happiness is being defined on a scale or measured in pounds. Rather, this discussion is centered around the relationship in living an engaged life and how that applies to your choices in your daily living, how you connect with yourself, your friends, your family, and really your community around you. So in recognizing that each of our amazing, unique bodies, our individual bodies, want to be healthy, to proceed in the things that we enjoy in this engaged life, to be active in. Basically, this is about what our bodies want to do to live that engaged life and a meaningful life with as much balance as we possibly can. And certainly during these times, it's very important because we know that each one of us is experiencing these things a little differently. And Danny, I know you can attest to that.
Yeah. Hi, everyone, and thanks, Debra. So we want to be mindful that and recognize that many of you may be feeling that tapping into what does health mean for you during these unprecedented times of COVID-19 could feel a bit challenging, and that we're hoping that we can take this time together and take a look at health and look at how happiness is our foundation and build upon that. And just take a moment today and do that. So I'm going to turn it back over to you, Debra.
So thank you. That's super important. And we go back to that question. And if we think about those things that we just discussed, what is health and what does health and wellness mean to you? Health to one person may be getting up in the morning and putting on their socks and shoes. To someone else, it may be, throwing a ball with your child or doing a family activity. To someone else, it may be a dance class, a yoga class, getting more rest, sleep, praying, meditation, training for something that, is an athletic type activity. It could be going on a hike or walking a dog, your dog that you love doing every day. I mean, those are just different ways of how we engage in our health. So it's different for each one of us when we think about what that is. And the idea being that what we enjoy are the motivating factors in maintaining our health and wellness. So when we think about health in this way, we can ask ourselves, if I can't do the things I'd like to do that would help me live this engaged life, this purposeful life, this healthy life, is there something that I need to adjust in my present day, or anything that would allow me to do these things? Is there an adjustment that I may need to take to live this engaged type life? And I think about that, I think of, as a health coach, I talk about 3 domains with my clients, and that's a pleasant life, which is, we think of happiness being not just merely a feeling of contentment. It's a little bit more than that. So if we pursue it a little bit farther, we talk about this engaged life type thing, what that feels like through our work, our family, our relationships, things that we enjoy, our hobbies, whatever they may be. And then the meaningful life that we all certainly can, connect to is that purpose, that value, what gives us purpose and value to our lives. And again, just keeping in time of how we navigate during the time of COVID. Danny has some super insightful questions, and I love your example that we were talking about the other day. It inspired me so much. I was like, yes. So I really, that's awesome. Could you please share it? And
Absolutely. So before I give that example, what I have is I wanted to kind of share some questions for everybody to kind of take, think about actually to kind of consider today. And it's 4 questions before I kind of share this example that Debra was referring to. So when this live stream's over, if you could kind of think about and take 3 to 5 minutes and write down, what does health mean to you? What is it for you personally? Everybody has a different idea, and Debra was kind of touching upon that. And think about that. And then, take an extra 5 minutes today. And what would you do for your health today? Not your family's health, not somebody else's health. We all take care of our family, right, or our friends. But what are you going to do for yourself that will change and make you feel strong and tap into your strength? And so kind of on that note of strength, how do our strengths in leading a happy life, how does that relate to your health? And that's, so on that note, if we kind of take that a little bit deeper, and then I'm going to share kind of that note that Debra was talking about. If you feel like you want to boost your inner strength, can you consider what areas you would add to feel more engaged with your life, that you would build on, that would lead to more health and wellness? So here's an example I have. So I see a lot of different clients so as Lauren was sharing, I work with patients who are dealing with many types of eating disorders, anxiety, and depression. And I had a client recently, and that person felt a panic attack coming on. And they had to say to themselves that, their heart rate started rising, and they immediately felt like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle this, and all these negative thoughts started coming in. And so all of a sudden, the person sat down and said, no, I don't have to have this panic attack. I can sit here, I can breathe in and out, and I can get some water, I can call someone, and I can get some support. And I can, most importantly, distract myself. So what my patient did was that they realized that they had the inner strength to tackle these feelings, apply positive self-talk, and used their determination and willingness that they've learned to use the tools that they've learned and take care of themselves. So it was really cool to hear when we met again. So when the day came that they felt this panic attack coming on, they were able to take the stress and really, use the tools and have that be applied to health and wellness, as opposed to you go back into the negative talk and not be healthy. So it was really cool to hear, and it was fun. So I'm going to turn it back over to you.
And I love that because it's kind of goes back to simplicity. Simplicity is key, yeah. Meaning feeling successful with our steps, our small steps, whatever they are, and celebrating those. Because I remember you said you guys got up and did a happy dance and kind of whatever felt good at that moment. And we all know that's so cool because you're meeting yourself where you're at, the present, where you're at. And I do that with my clients too as a health coach, is just start with the now, the present, and go from there. And
right.
And that's really a great example of doing that and just really nurturing that part of their life, being engaged in their life, tackling something that may seem difficult, but taking a step, taking it in. identifying what their health is to them, not to anyone else, and then applying that. And I really, really love that because, today, I mean, if we go back today, we see that there really is a lot of abundance of content online. And sometimes we find ourselves skimming through it and streaming through it. It's overwhelming, I mean, for all of us. And, feeling like we have to do something. And I always think, even for myself, I mean, is it speaking at me or is it really speaking to me? Is it speaking to me what I think my health and wellness is? So I think, okay, the silver lining to all of this, and we talk about this, Danny, is that we can embrace that. We can embrace the fact that we have a choice to know if something is speaking to us, which is a wonderful thing, or at us. And what's beneficial to our health and wellness with these steps is that as we continue to embrace these choices, like your client did, those steps that you gave him, in his daily living or her daily living, and we can do these things to understand and ask ourselves every time, okay, is this speaking at me? Or is this speaking to me? And we kind of go back to those questions. What is health? What does health and wellness mean to me? And how do I apply health and wellness when it's surrounding, my choices and tapping into my strengths and identifying that. And I talk about the simplicity, or we talk about the simplicity in taking these steps because it's a process and it's okay to feel, along this process to obtain. And sometimes if we tackle something smaller, it kind of gives us that springboard moment to tackle something a little bit bigger or maybe more challenging. And we know those things shift. We know those things change, but to know that if we identify with ourselves what health means to us, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing when we can appreciate our steps, when we can appreciate our moments. And it really helps us look at things that may seem overwhelming and seem harder. And the sense that our self-efficacy increases, I mean, we talk about this a lot, when you can take one step or one goal or whatever you want to call that, an action plan, however that's defined for you, because it may be different, obviously, for me, for you, for other people. And it's just really embracing what that is. So, yeah, I love that. So, when we share self-efficacy and talk about that, I know we've had these conversations, Danny, and I know I'm talking to everybody out there, but it's really personal that we talk about these things all the time because of the abundance of the things that are out there and our ever-changing world. You had another great example and some wonderful strategies I really would love for you to share. So I turn it to you.
So I know we have limited time, so I'm going to just briefly share one quick example with a patient I have that has been struggling with their eating disorder, and they had an really quick aha moment just to share. And the aha moment was that they were really kind of feeling like, am I stuck with this eating disorder forever? And I really just simply said, did you want to feel happiness? Did you feel like that you've been affected long enough? It's up to you. This is your choice. And that was the first time that my patient said, I never realized that health and wellness was my choice. So I just absolutely loved that the light bulb went on and they got to flip the switch on health and wellness. So they took an immediate action and got motivated to take a step like Debra was talking about. So what I really want to jump to really quickly as we kind of run out is some tools and some skills that you can kind of start implementing into your life today for feeling happy and feeling grounded, especially during these times that are so sort of unusual and scary and overwhelming at times, and so that we can stay grounded and feeling like we can manage better. So the first skill is pretty easy, and it's one of my favorite that I love using in my practice, is if you could take 5 minutes, set the timer on your phone, and just write all your self-doubt, self-negative talk, and just for 5 minutes do a free write. And then I want you, if you use it on your computer, print it out and go throw it away. not in your bedroom. Go throw it away outside. And with that, you're letting it go. So you can, for that day, for that morning, let yourself feel happiness. Give yourself permission to feel some joy of letting it go. The other one that I really like is just walking. Walk your dog so you feel connected to the world and feel this deep just health and wellness. And so the last tool that I'm going to go through pretty fast is meditation. So a lot of people feel really frustrated when they hear therapists, psychotherapists, psychologists, anybody, health coaches say meditation. So what meditation does is it keeps us very grounded. And my husband, I have to say, was in biotech. He meditates, and it affects his wellness and his connection to keeping healthy for work, his family, and his whole outlook on the day. For me, so he just meditates. For me, I have to use an app, and it keeps me completely, it just keeps me healthy. And it's like my cup of coffee that I have to have every day. And so I have to say that anything that you can find and implement in your life that brings you centeredness, that will lead you to the foundation of feeling more healthy and the efficacy for you to build on to feel joy and wellness in your life. So I'm going to give it to Debra to wrap it up.
I don't think I could say it any better than that. I mean, it's just that, thank you so much. It's taking that engaged approach and just really tapping into our own amazing bodies, our own amazing capabilities, and our own needs, really, and just asking ourselves and going through that process and taking steps that help us to facilitate better health and wellness and what that means to each one of us in our daily living. So, yeah, that was, I think you said it very, very well.
Awesome.
Well, thank you.
I know we're getting this 1 minute, 2 minute.
Thank you both for being here today. And if you guys have any additional questions, or please feel free to let us know in the comment section. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.